throughout the second episode. There's a reoccurring idea of desire, the difference between what the characters say they want versus what they actually want. With Nate being beaten unconscious, it just opened up this gateway into his desires and wants and needs.
Nate goes into the future and plays his whole life out. She's perfect and she's beautiful and she's got blonde hair and then we'll have children and then we'll get married. And I think that brings him a great deal of comfort because it means he won't end up in the same place that his mum and dad did. But shooting them was really, really weird because I had to be nice. And that was peculiar because it's not often that I'm not doing something dark.
Nurse! Nurse!
The process of having his head caved in was really, really cool. I got to go to this studio and kind of get this cast made of my head, and then Tara, my makeup artist, we started at maybe 5 hours and then it became 4 hours and maybe 3.5 hours in the makeup chair just lining the prosthetic up, which was my face, which would like squish my eye. And then I had a contact put in. And then the coolest thing about the prosthetic was the nurse could actually put stitches through it. So they put like real stitches in my head. And I think by the end of it, we've done it so much, I started to get phantom pain. Like I'd see myself in the mirror and think that maybe my head was actually hurting.
And action.
You know what's actually really crazy is the first time Sam kind of mentioned to me what he was going to do with season 2. I was at a baseball game and he randomly calls me and I answer and I go like behind the stands trying to hear what he's saying. And he goes, "So what do you think's like the craziest thing Cassie would do season 2? I'm like, oh man, I don't know. And I'm trying to think of what is something Sam would come up with. He goes, what about Nate? Cassie and Nate. I lost it. I lost my mind. I was like, that's definitely something crazy. And my first response was, but what about Maddie?
I think initially with the Nate and Cassie relationship, I didn't really understand it. I was worried that it was just a high school trope and just, you know, different people sleeping with different people. Then after talking to Sam and working with Sid, to me it became quite an important part and a development in his character, affecting what he thinks that love is and the kind of love that he's looking for.
Nate sent me the most beautiful text message this morning. Maddie was with Nate for so long, she's still kind of playing with the idea of, well, could we be back together? Playing her this season feels really internal.
Babysitting wasn't her first choice of a job.
Funny because season 1, they're like, Maddie never wanted a job.
I'm sorry, but 17-year-olds can't donate eggs.
But I think not being with Nate and having this like new sense of independence and realizing maybe she doesn't want to stay in this town forever. She definitely doesn't want to stay at home with her parents. So she, of course, finds a job babysitting for an extravagant, chic woman who has beautiful clothing.
Hey, can you help me with this zipper?
My friend Bryn came in and helped us set design with all of her clothing because she just has the most beautiful clothing. She came in and brought a bunch of stuff from her shop. She owns a Ralda Vintage. It was like my dream closet. We had a lot of vintage couture gowns and that was so fun. Like walking in and being able to try on all those gowns was definitely a highlight.